What's going on, guys? We're going to be day trading S&P 500 mini futures. I'm looking at 2000 tick chart. We're going to be using only price action, which means we are solely relying on the naked candlesticks as they are on the chart. I have only one indicator here, and this is the supportive indicator, 21 bar exponential moving average. Just supporting indicator helps me understand additional information about the market. What I can see right now is that the price is consolidating. You guys can see strong push down, strong push up. EMA is flat, which means no clear direction. I have a support here, key level of the day, and I have a high of the day, the resistance. This is the key level that price will oscillate in between, and I'm right now expecting for price to reach this upper resistance because the bullish bias is in present. EMA keeps holding price, even though this is now congested, a small little trading range, but you treat it the same way as a trading range. I don't want to go short it just yet. You guys also see that I have these short-term trend lines in play. You guys can see there's a break of a trend line, new extreme, there's a break of a trend line, new high, break of a trend line of this downtrend, new low. And this is by design because this is according to trend line rules. After price will break the trend line, no, you're not looking for reversal. You're looking for traders to create an additional leg or two legs to a new extreme, a new low or new high. All right, so the market has just opened and price consolidated right around the open. And you guys can see how this is a pure consolidation area. EMA is getting flat completely in the middle of those bars, and this is the strongest congestion, so you don't want to take any entry right here. We moved to the resistance, which we broke higher, and we touched the resistance, and we reversed working lower, and we actually have a new high. First entry long, strong push below EMA, indicating bearish momentum. Second entry long, failure. Now this is a high probability setup because two failed attempts in the previous trend's direction failed, but you're far away from EMA. You're going short directly at the very lows. Don't like going short here yet. Right now we have a break, new extreme form for the downtrend, so it looks like the downtrend is going to play out soon, and I'm looking to fade the breakout if we get some decent setup far away from EMA. I'm going to be waiting for two attempts before I fade the breakout here. All right, we're about to have a second entry short right here. New low formed, first entry short, second entry short. It hasn't triggered yet, but either way, tempting setup, but I'm not going to take it because of the 5 overlapping bars. They're stacked. You guys can see a lot of stims completely sideways. We have a break and a new extreme form for this uptrend. So uptrend played out on a strong push below EMA. However, because of the congestion, I cannot take it. We have a first leg down, consolidation, and we are waiting for a second leg down, correct? But so many bars stacked, you know what can happen. You can get trapped easily. So for that reason, I'm sitting here patiently, even though 2500 tick chart is looking much better. Very tempting setup, but so many overlapping bars. Can't take it. All right, guys, I'm resuming the video as I'm going to take a second entry long right here. Oops. So I took the second entry long right here, two leg pullback. I'm going for 8 ticks. I'm going to move my runner somewhere around here. And I'm looking at the first entry long, second entry long at the EMA. EMA holds price. We pushed from the low side back to the high side. Price is working. Wow, that was a quick move, but we didn't really reach the scalp yet. Come on. We're one tick away from getting filled here. And we got filled here. So I'm going to tighten my stop loss because I don't want to risk any money on the table right now. All right, so you guys can see that our runner just got stopped. So this was a quick, easy scalp. The first trade for the day. Just to let you guys know what I was looking at, because as you guys can see in this trading range, all you're focusing on are the short-term trend lines. You guys can see how clear and concise the rule works. There's a break, new extreme form. There's uptrend break, new extreme form, and after new extreme form, you expect correction or straight up reversal. There's move down, break, new extreme formed. There's move up, breaks. You expect a new extreme to be formed. You have a close to new extreme, almost a double top, which a lot of times can be considered as an attempt. But this uptrend was the valid trend that is being present right now. I have a first entry long, pullback, second entry long. Two-legged pullback is a high probability setup at the key entry point, which is the exponential moving average. We're coming from the lows, we're heading to the highs. Right now, since we have attempt to create new extreme, we can push higher, but I'm just going to be patient and I'm not going to take this high low here. So quickly resuming the video, as there was a high low setup that worked for a quick easy scalp. I was a little bit hesitant since we traced so far back. I expected this to be a double top and I was expecting a little bit of a reversal, but high low is once again in a category of high probability setups because high low is a confirmation setup of a two-legged pullback, second entry at key entry point. You guys can see push higher, EMA is holding price, which is a good enough indication. Personally, I treated it as a new high to be formed. We just created an additional new push higher, and from that point on we reverse. So decent entry still to take. Probably should have pulled the trigger here. I could have had 2 easy trades, but I still like taking this main setup first a little bit. And right now we have a new attempt to new extreme, triple top right here, And right now we're expecting the same thing as we did throughout the entire day. We keep just new downtrend, break, new extreme. This is all you're expecting in this small trading range. This is how you trade trading ranges. Preferably you want to wait for price to get all the way down to these lows and all the way up to these key entry points. But today is an FOMC announcement day. Volatility is slow and we're just hovering around in the middle, which is always not the best idea, but you have to trade the market you get, not the market you want. And unfortunately, we don't have the luxury to fade breakouts because we are not just getting there. Price keeps consolidating. You guys can see once again, same pattern as here, EMA being completely flat. It's in the middle of these bars, which is really no clear entry, no clear direction. And you want to just stay out of this because you can get chopped out to pieces. If you guys take a look how clean this entry was, there was no congestion right here. Bunch of congestion, EMA still flat. EMA was really flat like here. This was a great entry. Too bad there were so many bars overlapping. But you guys can see we are in the middle of this bigger trading range and we are in this small trading range. So you have to focus and basically sit on your hands as much as you can because you don't want to pull the trigger on the wrong entry. Being a trader, you have to sometimes not take a trade and sit here for hours just to wait for those couple of good ones. That is necessary. Otherwise, you will lose money long term. All right, we just had a little failed breakout of this micro trading range. And you may be wondering, why am I not fading this breakout when most breakouts of trading ranges will fail? Well, first of all, the signal bar is not great. It is a neutral doji bar. Second of all, this is a micro trading range inside of this bigger trading range, and there's always a possibility that we will push to the main key level for the day. And you guys can see as I'm talking, it's being happening. And also we had a little bit of a bullish imbalance. We keep making high highs. We keep making a little bit of a lower highs as well. So this is mostly kind of like a triangle wedge forming. But the lows were the most recent price action, so I'm treating it as a temporary bullish imbalance. And if we get a nice 2 pushes up, I will fade the breakout then. We have a new high, first entry long, pullback, second entry long, failure. We're coming from failed breakout, but we already moved way too far down. We have a break, new low form, so you know that means that the downtrend played out. We're very close to the support. You can barely scalp up, but I'm not trusting this failed second entry long at all. I'm just sitting patiently here. The failed breakout ended up working, which most breakouts of these trading ranges will just fail. This is why you always want to fade them. And this is the main key level for today. Unfortunately, I was waiting for one little push higher. You want to get the second push and then you want to go short. All right, so I'm just quickly resuming the video as there just was a nice second entry short that I just unfortunately missed. Once this failed second entry long looked like it's going to reverse and go higher, I didn't even pay attention that we may form a second entry short here, and just right after that we form a beautiful two-legged pullback back to the key entry point. There is still room to these lows, and this is the proper entry right now, and they just formed it very quickly. That's unfortunate. It was a quick easy scalp second entry short, but this is the one, this is the high probability side that you're waiting for. Same thing right here, but nothing you can do. Now you already have a break and 2 legs to new extreme, so you want to be careful. You don't want to take the lower high anymore. All right, I'm resuming the video. Still no decent entries. I would really like, so far I like this first entry long, second entry long off the key entry point, and I like this first entry short, second entry short. That's the high probability setup. It's just worth to be waiting all this mess out just for those 2 setups. Too bad I missed this entry. The failed breakouts are still decent, but once you get chopped in the middle like this, right now we're exactly in the middle of this overall trading range, which really doesn't tell me any clear bias. So I'm just sitting on my hands, still waiting. We're below EMA. Yes, we're below EMA even on 2500 tick chart. But when you are stuck in the middle of a range like this, pretty much anything can happen. Resuming the video after quite some while, and I still haven't taken a trade yet after my first trade. I missed a couple of good trades, and then you guys can see we have a FOMC announcement. Market consolidated here. This was the FOMC, and now we are post FOMC and the market gets volatile. It's kind of odd price action. You just have to be patient. We have this downtrend working lower, which seems to be fitting fairly nicely, but a lot of times this is the typical weird price action around the news. So far the bias is very down right now, very bearish, so I'm not even thinking about buying, and we'll see if I can get one more good high probability setup, because I only have one single trade today. But this is very typical for FOMC day announcement. The market slows down a lot before the FOMC. All right, so price pushed to the 2 key entry points, which one of them is EMA, the second is trend line, but unfortunately there was only a first entry short. You guys can see we have the short-term trend line working higher, which we don't have a break and new extreme form. Right now we have a break and we are working to retest the trend line, but this was just a first entry. It was with the direction of a trend. However, you don't want to take first entry because it is not a high probability setup yet. We are having a little lower high. Maybe it's going to form. Let me see 2500. I kind of like if lower high forms here. I kind of like it. Let me see. It is really nice. You know what? It is really nice entry. Much better entry on 2500. Beautiful second entry short lower high on a 2500 tick chart. It looks like I may miss it. 25, 74, 50. Oh, we can still. All right. So no entry for me right now. That's a shame. I'm gonna show you guys the setup on 2500 tick chart. This was the setup on 2500 tick chart. New low, first entry short, pullback, second entry short. The lower high looks much better. We ticked higher, instantly reverse down, bearish downtrend. Trend line is working. EMA is pointing down, lower highs, lower lows. Unfortunately, on the 2000 tick chart, you really didn't have an opportunity to enter because this bar is already way too big and your stop loss has to go all the way up to here. But yeah, I missed this entry, so we'll see. All right, I'm resuming the video as we may have a second entry short about to trigger below this bar right here. Let me see if I can get filled here. And I got filled. So I'm going to move my stop loss 1 tick above the signal bar. I'm going to go for 8 ticks. Going to leave my runner somewhere down here. And what I'm looking at, I have a new low, first entry short, second entry short, EMA holds price, break of this downtrend. So new extreme is retest of a new extreme is to be expected. And we got out. Perfect. So hopefully we can catch a runner, but it's not looking that great here. And our runner just got stopped. So at least I took one more trade after FOMC, which is decent. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up. We had a break, we had a new extreme, but there was a two-leg pullback. We broke above the EMA, but now we are back below. When you have such a strong downtrend like this, even though you have a break at a new low, the trend can resume very quickly and fairly soon. So you just want to expect the correction. You don't want to necessarily want to reverse it. I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody.